You can prepare as much as you like. You can know your content inside out. But there just comes a moment where you just have to trust yourself and be there in the doing. Welcome to Reclaim Your Voice, a podcast for women in business who are ready to lead with more clarity, more ownership, and more confidence in who they already are. I'm Savannah Madden, confidence coach, public speaker, and the founder of award-winning theatre school Madden Theatre Arts. This is not about becoming someone new, it's about returning to your voice and leading in a way that feels aligned. Here we explore confidence, leadership, visibility, business growth, and the real shifts that happen as you evolve. If you know you're capable of more, you're in the right place. This is Reclaim Your Voice. Hello and welcome back to the show. It's great to be here. I am wanting to do a little bit of a debrief on my experience speaking at the Women Thrive Summit 2026. My talk was called How I Rebuilt My Confidence and Found My Voice Again. And to date, it is one of the most amazing experiences of my professional career, I have to say. And it's wild to think that I delivered my 45-minute keynote from the same place that I am currently recording this podcast, which is in my garden office at the bottom of my garden, believe it or not. Well, we call it the cabin. And I'm actually sat down right now, but I delivered my keynote standing up. And the first thing I just want to share is that in that moment, I just felt that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. And I'm sure if you've been listening to me for a little while, you already are aware that I'm from a performing arts background. But if you're brand new here, then that is my background. So I was a actor, dancer, singer, presenter, musical theatre enthusiast in what I'd like to call my old life. And although I never quite made the heights of the West End or, huge feature films, I've presented some really great stuff. I've done some really good dance work and a lot of short film in my career. And I felt incredibly fulfilled. I've also got another business, which is an award-winning theatre school. And I was actually on stage just last night, opening up my show and closing it, where I was also speaking on stage. And public speaking just feels like a natural habitat for me. It feels really, really normal. And I know I'm probably quite in the minority because the phobia of public speaking, I think it's like one of the biggest phobias you can have. And I can't even remember what it's called, but it's one of the biggest phobias that you can have, or it's, the most popular. I don't quite know what the phrase is. And I obviously got nervous when I was doing my Women Thrive talk. I was nervous when I was up on stage introducing my theatre school show. But for my theatre school show, I had no notes. I had done no preparation whatsoever. Everything just came from my heart. And I think if I'm perfectly honest with myself, with my talk that I did for the Women Thrive Summit, most of that I probably could have done without a huge amount of notes now, because I've been practicing my signature talk. But what I want to highlight strongly is that because of my performing arts background, everything I have worked on has got a technique, dance technique, singing technique, acting technique. And those techniques you can practice until you're blue in the face and, perfect. And I say that in inverted commas. And with my signature keynote now, I feel like that will just need to be tweaked and refreshed and, tweaked a bit. Can't think of another word. I am very tired today. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. But it will need to change and shift. And then obviously I will write another one at some point to deliver for something else. But right now, where it's at, it's got a good structure. It flows nicely. It's all good. I just don't need to keep over practicing it, because with public speaking, you want to be spontaneous. You want it to flow really well. So as long as you've got that structure that you can follow, and I did also use slides, that also kept me on track. I just don't feel that once you've got your structure and your flow, you just don't need to practice it too much, because then it becomes really rehearsed and a bit stale and boring and possibly a bit inauthentic. I was at an event a couple of weeks ago where there were some very polished speeches and I just didn't resonate with them at all, because there were so many choreographed gestures. There was so much language that was used that just felt very overly persuasive. I imagine some of it was NLP, but I don't actually know. So I'm not entirely sure because I don't know that practice, but it was very clever, strategic language that was leading the audience, to buy and things like that. And of course, when you're on stage, you've got a service that you are offering to the people in the audience, but I didn't necessarily agree with the way that it was being put out there. But that's just my opinion. It was just, I just didn't enjoy it that much. I didn't resonate with some of the speakers. I didn't believe them. I didn't feel like it was very authentic. And that's just my opinion. But the other thing that I wanted to touch on in today's episode as I kind of debrief is just the overall experience that I've had. I applied to be a speaker for the summit in the summer, and I then got shortlisted for an interview in September. Unfortunately, I then wasn't able to make my interview, so I had to reschedule it. And the next available interview slot was at the end of October. So I didn't think that was an enormous problem because I was told that the applications were closing, at the end of October. So I was like, great, I've just got in there in the nick of time, as it were. And the nick of time I was, because I got one of the last 5 spots or something, which was really cool. And it was quite a surprise to even be accepted. I definitely was going through the process to see what it was all like, and I really wanted to be a speaker, but I totally appreciated that I'm still quite early on in my speaking journey within the entrepreneurial world, within coaching with this business, because my coaching business is still in its infancy at the time of recording. However, I have been in business for nearly a decade. So I turned up to my interview. I just felt like myself and Abby clicked straight away, who is one of the co-hosts of the Women Thrive Summit. And she works closely with Raymonda, who is the founder of Women Thrive Media, but she was on maternity leave at that time. So then I was accepted, and then you have weekly calls with all of the speakers who are from all over the world. It's a global summit. So I was only one of a handful of people from the UK. And then you're put into pods as well. So I was in a pod with 5 other women, and there was only 2 of us that were from England, 1 Scottish lady. The other women in my pod were from the US, Kenya, and the Netherlands. And the woman that is from the Netherlands actually lives in Portugal, and the woman from the US actually lives in the Netherlands. So it was just such an amazing mix of people. And you can imagine the conversations that we were having, the collaborations that are stemming from this. I'm going to be having lots of the women on this show so that you can learn from their experiences and just get to know them all a little bit better. And there was women from all over the world, the US, Australia, Europe, so many different countries. So great to be exposed to all these different people. And we had speaker showcases once a month. We had a panel show where we recorded a podcast together. So there were just so many incredible opportunities, not just the summit itself. But the day of the summit for me was like any other day. I got up and got ready. I got my son ready for nursery, played with him a little bit, had my breakfast, did one final quick run through with the tech just to make sure everything was working correctly. And then went on the green room. Walk On song came on, bit of Beyonce, Freedom, absolutely fire. It was so great. And I was just ready to go and delivered my talk. And what I just couldn't quite believe was how engaged the chat was. People just commenting all the way through, really engaging, answering my questions, putting their opinions forwards. It was absolutely amazing. I have never experienced a chat like it on an online summit, whether I've been speaking or whether I've been an audience member. And this was my biggest audience that I have ever presented to. So it was just wild. Some of the moments I was asking questions and I couldn't even keep up with the answers because they were just flying, which was, just quite a new experience for me. But I really enjoyed it. And it was lovely because now post-summit, I'm connecting with loads of those people that were in that chat. I had a giveaway on, so I've now selected a winner for that giveaway. So we're booking in her Reclaim Your Voice leadership session, where she's going to spend an hour with me and we're just going to dig into her business and see if there are any gaps I can plug for her. And the whole day was just amazing, because then there were other speakers for the rest of the day that I was able to watch and engage with. And there were just so many messages to send and to respond to, and just some really great connections being made and people that I can support and collabs that can happen. So there's lots of exciting stuff happening. And then I definitely feel like the post-summit blues are sinking in a little bit, which I was expecting. But I don't want it to go into too much of the blues, because I want to still, be able to leverage the experience and be able to produce a lot of content, from my talk, turn that into things that I can share on my platform and support people further. A really great experience. And as I said earlier, we had weekly calls, and some of those calls were to share what had been happening in our lives from all the speakers. Some of it was mentorship, some of it was coaching. And my talk would not have been the success it was if I hadn't received incredible mentorship and coaching from Raymonda and from Abigail. And they gave us so much wisdom, so many incredible nuggets of information of where to put things in our talks, how to structure them, how to keep our personality in there, not, lean too much into it being too structured, too choreographed, any of those sorts of things. So I learned so much from them, and I'm so excited for more connections, more collaborations, more support to be given. And as we kind of come out of the week that the summit was being held, the talks are all available. So if you already bought a ticket, if you want to catch up on the replays, you can just upgrade your ticket to a VIP one, and then you'll be able to access all of the speakers' talks, and then you can watch as many talks as you like and learn from all the incredible speakers that were on the lineup. And if you were there live, or you have already upgraded your ticket to a VIP and you've watched my talk, I would absolutely love to know what you got from it, what landed for you, what has resonated, if you've got any takeaways, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, how did it land for you? I would absolutely love to know. So if you're at a point in business where things are growing, but more is being asked of you, are you needing to lead more? Are you needing to be more visible, to trust yourself at a deeper level, reconnect with who you already are? Then this is the work that I'm doing. And this is what I'm helping women with and supporting them with reclaiming their voice and stepping into their leadership, evolving their identity, and supporting you as you step outside of your comfort zone. And this is some of the most powerful work that you can do. And I'm just going to leave that there with you. And that is my debrief on knowing that I am currently exactly where I need to be, and that public speaking is my absolute natural habitat. And I cannot wait for more opportunities to come. More public speaking, more stages, more summits, more podcasts, more membership speaking, more collabs. I'm here for it all. And so have a wonderful day, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Reclaim Your Voice. If today's conversation resonated, then head to the show notes where you'll find my free audio gift. And if this episode helped you in any way, it would mean so much if you shared it, rated, or reviewed the show. That support helps these conversations reach the people who really need them. You can also watch the full episode on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.